Hello, this is the all around natural beauty, and welcome to the all around natural beauty show where we are going in a totally new direction and we're talking about narcissistic personality disorder and abuse, and we're using the subject of Darrell Brooks as our poster child, our poster person, our poster individual for um, abuse and the whole dynamics of how these enablers, how the women making excuses for these men to continue this a cycle of abuse because of it's all stems back to the whole um, narcissistic personality disorder. And I'm just grateful that in this day and age in 2022 that we have available video and cameras, so people, these narcissists aren't going to be able to get away with all of the carnage that they has have caused in the past, because now we have the video proof and the awareness of their personality disorder, so we're not falling for the okey doke all that good time. So for those of you who do not know, Darrell Brooks is a 40-year-old man who had a history of abuse of all sorts, and one day was a domestic abuse person and was angry at the baby mama girlfriend, and to come to find out, anyway, I won't even go there yet, but was angry and took out his anger on helpless people that weren't even related, because he didn't have access to get to the intended victim. And like I've said before, when you anger one of these narcissists like that, you want to be somewhere far away, because when they erupt, it's going to spill out. It's like, a volcano erupting, and the lava coming out will spill out all over. And as we saw what happened on November 21st, 2021, when that exact thing had happened. So I'm just excited to be here, 51 years old and almost 52, with all of this wisdom and able to put these pieces together, and that other people like myself, like like I've said before, not on this channel, but I have another channel where I'm passionate about helping middle-aged adults like myself overcome the fear of leaving behind the comfort of a job. And I can also say I want to be passionate about helping people overcome the fear of leaving the abuser. And that's what this channel, the All Around Natural Beauty, is going to be dedicated to. And I'm just grateful to the universe that I'm finding a voice and a purpose, and that I'm able to help people, as I can see in these great comments that I've been getting. And it's just been encouraging me to know that this is where I'm, going to go. In the past, before, I was always kind of timid to speak out on this situation, being, a victim my whole life, and just really coming into the strength of transitioning from a victim to a survivor in order to, evolve and actually, grow and develop and heal. Really, healing is these things are required for healing. Otherwise, you will pick another, you'll pick the same guy, you know what I mean? You'll pick the same guy or girl, because like I said before, we can't say that it is only the men, because we see that women are also can be affected by this, and have been known to do great evils to people with no compassion or anything like that too. So it's not just men who are affected with this, it's women too. However, it does appear to be more males than females. So we're gonna just go from that. And I just wanted that to be out there, so we're not confused about what we're doing here. Like, this is not just it's not this is a members only for people, for the for society, for the planet. You know what I mean? So we not saying that all women are good, and we're not saying that all men are good, or that we, any of those things. We're talking about people. We're looking at the individual. Everybody is responsible for their own individual growth, and they're responsible for that to help the planet. So, and it's nobody's job but yours. So all this blaming and all that stuff, is going to go. And the more we shine the light and notify people about these narcissists, they'll be less likely to, get us entangled and stuff. One of the interesting things, but very common things that we're going to see in the case of Darrell Brooks is that this is a serial, he's been doing this his whole life. I did have a video, I did a live yesterday where I stumbled on, there was a documentary that was done in 2007 about him having, a meth addiction. So, these are these are steps, right? So these are the meth heads that, the family, didn't do an intervention on, or didn't make a stance to cut the person out of their life, continue to enable them by, helping them out when they needed to be removed, and actually be a no contact. Hold on a second. I got to sneeze and it won't come out. Well, it's passing. Okay, so please don't do it. Okay. So what I'm saying is that all these things tie in together. If you have family or loved ones, mothers, fathers, children, brothers, sisters, uncles, anybody in your family who's addicted to drugs, and you continue to deal with them, then you are not helping the process. You are enabling that person. The only way to help them is to actually, you have to remove yourself from them, right? That's the only way. It really is the only way, because whenever you support an abuser, you are telling them that you're okay with being abused, right? Right? So, because if it was a stranger who abused you, like, there would be no way that you would, go back to a stranger abuse, which is one of the reasons why being abused in a relationship is so difficult to get out, because of the whole psychological issues, that is going on with this. All right. I wish somebody could tell me what's going on with my sound. Hold on, I'm going to do a sound check. The only way I can do it is to turn on the sound. Okay, so I guess I'm doing pretty good then. Sound's coming through pretty good. I don't know how that kind of froze over there. But anyway, so I'm just excited about the direction that this channel is going in. I want to shout out all my new subscribers. I'm just going to take a moment, like we said, no more moments of silence. We talk, we speak here, we speak words, we speak lives. Let me see now if I could go through here and thank some of these new subscribers. Siobhan Jackson, who gave a nice comment here, and John Collins, John Collins has some really nice comments here. John Collins says, he says, he asked, is this guy representing himself, or is he a lawyer? So that was a question that a lot of people had, because he did a good job. I hate to say it, but it appeared that he was doing a good job. Like, he really never had a chance, because he only sounded like he did a good job, which most narcissists do. But he never had a chance. He couldn't match up with these real attorneys up in there, and even, not even, but the judge too. These people have years of training, but it goes to show you how these narcissists think, how they're so really, they're really into themselves. They really believe that they can charm or fool anybody. They could, lie and get everybody to believe them. Like, they don't even really, they don't think about it. It's just a natural something, and they have all confidence that these lies are working. And what happens is victims, we reinforce that by returning, by returning to the abuser when they hoover you back. So um, this is why you need to know these, know the actual, all of the steps, all of the orders, all of the cycles, the cycles of these narcissists. That way, if you are in a relationship with one, it's real easy. It sounds really difficult, but if you're smart, you'll figure this out, that they have to operate in these cycles. Like, right, they can't go long periods of time before they start abusing you again. And what happens is when you have these long-term abusive relationships, the honeymoon phase, when they come back to, oh baby, I'm sorry, and all this stuff, or just do the whole love bomb thing, which we actually saw on Darrell when he was trying to smooth talk her on the witness stand, by wishing her a happy birthday, kind of like did this little, suave look and stuff like that. And it was so scary to see that it was working on her, and she was scared herself, knowing that it's gonna be hard for her to resist her. Like, she doesn't have any, she did, now she does, since he's been prison for a million years. But you can see that she still didn't have the confidence that she could be able to resist him if he weren't put away for the rest of his life. So that's, and she's not the only one. It's a lot of victims that have a hard time to be able to leave. And that's why I think it's so important that we continue to talk about this and not keep things in silence, because that's how they're able to operate, is when victims don't say anything. So, and they keep everybody separated, so you can't really compare notes about your abuse, my abuse, and then we see, okay, this guy's the abuser. Here's the person that's doing that. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me get this mic together. Okay, so there we have it on there. So I wanted to read. Oh, I'm still reading off these here names of the new subscribers, and also John Brown. I'm just excited because, and this is not even all of them. The All Seeing Eye, thank you so much for subscribing and your comment. And Mary H. Chanders, thank you so much for your subscription and comments here from John Brown. And Fleur Rebel commented. He said, wicked old grandma got caught in a lie. The narcissist started with that old BIH. So, right. And so I'm just excited because this is new for me. Like I said, this channel, started 2013, a hair channel that, has been abandoned on several occasions. And for whatever it's worth, I saw someone else doing a video on this Darrell Brooks person. So I was very intrigued because I've been, wanting to expose these narcissists now for a few years, maybe the last 3 or 4 years now. But because they are so good with having their flying monkeys and people food, unless it's absolutely necessary, I don't recommend anybody to go and challenge ones. That's why it's good when you do recognize that you are entangled with one, not to get in an argument with them. Don't give them, any power, because you see, like, you don't really stand a chance, because this is what they do. This is their nature. They was born liars. Their whole life has been spent with coming up with more and more different lies so they can try out and see how to manipulate people, how to get you to do what they want you to do. And, this is why it's important that we talk about these kind of things. And then too, I'm going to start building more stuff up in the community tab so we can talk about some other things. Like I want to talk about some things that happened, 20 years ago and stuff that at the time, because technology and things was limited, these were mysteries and things that we really couldn't figure out and stuff like that. And also to shed some light in some um, in some situations that I felt like maybe a narcissist was involved in that and then got somebody, arrested or got somebody killed or unalived. Sorry, doing their little shenanigans and got off with it because, you know, people we didn't have all the technology. You know what I mean? Like if I believe that if all the technology with all these cameras and stuff wasn't here, Darrell Reed probably would have been in a position to talk his way out of that by, how he just kept confusing every, changing the subject, doing his tactics. He was very good at it. He was very good at it to where, um, you know, the judge really did a great job at keeping the control and, not getting out of syncs. However, there were a few times where I felt like he did kind of do a little, pulled a little fast one, pulled a fast one and, kind of got things off track. However, she did have to kind of be very flexible to make sure like it wasn't a mistrial, to just make sure that justice would be served. And I'm just proud that it was. And it lets these narcs know that y'all just can't keep lying your way out of stuff and, laughing on the inside while the poor empathic people are going, but, look, they're lying over there. He did it. He drove the car in there on purpose. And because there's even videos of him still not accusing, but blaming the baby mama, which really probably was his hoe. I did see another video. I just can't find it right now, but there's another video of him, talking about, being a pimp and pimping this 16-year-old or whatever. And anyway, that's another story that I will talk about as soon as I locate that video with him. I'll come out his own mouth about this pimping and stuff. So basically, y'all, this whole thing is about a pimp and his hoe, a pimp mad at his hoe, because you know what I mean. And because that it also explains why she kept going back, right? Why she kept going back and why she left out of the women's shelter, to go drink. A lot of times these hoes or these prostitutes or, be on be addicted to certain things and, pimps be, and these, like I said, I'll get the, I'll find the receipts for it. But y'all can just Google that stuff too. It'll show up. But anyway, it explains why. Because I kept saying, gee whiz, like you still got fresh wounds. Like, why did you give your location? He probably was like, yeah, I got some of this here, mess or whatever. I thought that he knocked her teeth out. She probably smoked them out. And he stopped. But anyway, got mess mouth because, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to show. Let me get back off into this here video here. I think this first one is going to be, what's the title of this thing here? Oh, the jury found Darrell Brooks guilty. I can just pick any video and shoot off on this dude. It's not even funny. All right, so let's sit back and get ready to share the screen and find this or watch this here video. All right, so the scene is, I'm going to move it back just a little bit too, because I want y'all to, I'm going to really show his, yeah, I guess I can be in that position. No, I don't want that. All right, I'm going to have to set up that. Anyway, so I'm going to move it back a little bit, so I want y'all to see this, how this, when he gets to this part here, where I'm going to be really breaking down the body language and all that good stuff. So let's go back here. All right, so I'm just going to set this the scene here. The judge is getting ready. She's coming in, and see this big old stack. Let me just pause it too real quick. This big stack This is a big ass stack of these are the judgments here. So these are the verdicts. I'm sorry. These are the verdicts. 77 or 78, 70 something, 70 plus verdicts here, and she's gonna have to read all these off. So this is him, after he's put on his case and stuff. So we're gonna see what he's looking like here.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information.
All right, notice he's trying to do the narc stare, right? But he already, when he heard the guilty, a blink came out. Watch the features up here, real close. Pay close attention to the eyes, right? That's why you got a mask on here. He started off trying to give the narc stare. All right. Okay. So he heard the first guilty. Now he's trying. You could see he's crushed in there, but these narcs got a good way of holding up the mask. Right. He's gonna try to hold it in.
Dated this 26th day of October 2022, signed by the foreperson, juror number 11. If you find the defendant guilty of first-degree intentional homicide, answer the following question: yes or no. Did the defendant commit first-degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer yes. We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 2 of the information. Did the defendant commit...
Boom, right there. Y'all see it? Right there. He holds the head down. After he hears the second one, now he knows it's over. It is over, right? So he saw that the narc said all these things. He's still trying, right? But now, after he's heard the second guilty verdict, watch how long he keep his head down, y'all. See, look at there. Head is down. He can't even look up. He ain't gonna look up for several minutes. All right. So we see here at 1 minute 10 seconds, head is down.
At first degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon. Answer yes.
See, narcissists, they're real good about this whole imaginary thinking. So in his mind, if I hold my head down, I'm invisible. Nobody, I know it sounds ridiculous, but y'all, I'm about to point it out more. In his mind, I hold my head down, I'm in a whole new space and nobody could see me. He is, because did y'all see, like at first when got time to read the verdict, he was trying to do the little narc stare, but then when it hit him, that guilty thing, it's like when you get punched in the stomach, you try to play like it didn't hurt. That's what happened, right? So then he started trying to blink it up, hold it down. But by the time she read the second one, guilty, now I'm already knowing it's all over. Head down and watch this, y'all. It's going to be forever before that head comes back up. I'm just going to fast forward through it.
Hey, you are to be removed right now. You will not do that.
All right, I forgot that part. Somebody yells out, "Burn in hell, you joke," or something like that, right? So then he gets removed. That was the only time that he looked up. And then I'm gonna move it back a little bit so y'all can see his facial expressions, because here is this real shame. You can see he's held his head down in shame. This is shame right here. This is the thing that narcissists try their very best to hide. It's the shame. Like they are riddled with shame and just utter, self, just hatred for self. But look at here, after he got the guilty verdict, look at head hung in shame, hanging head in shame. Somebody yells out something ugly, and then that's the only time he takes his head up and looks. So I'm gonna move it back just a little bit so y'all can see this little, and then after that's gonna be the next 20 minutes head down in shame.
And juror number 11. If you find the defendant guilty of first-degree intentional homicide, answer the following question: yes or no. Did the defendant commit first-degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer yes. We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 2 of the information.
See, look, he's shaking right there. You see the little shake on the shoulders before the head dropped. Hang your head in shame.
First-degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon.
All right.
Answer yes. Hey, you are to be removed right now. You will not do that.
Who that said that? Okay. Well, all right. Head back down.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty.
All right. Look here, y'all. I'm going to just keep on fast forwarding it through. Okay. By right. After about 2 minutes or so, now he get tired, kind of help
We,
hold
the
the head up a
jury,
little
find the
bit.
defendant,
This here
Darrell E.
shows he's
Brooks.
further feeling more. Let me get a big real quick over here. He's feeling more shame here, more shame. So he's trying to even hide even more and cover up the face more. So in his mind, he's disappeared. Like nobody could really see him. Because I'm telling you, imaginary thinking is real big for them. So his mind will tuck away up in here, and nobody can see me. Just continue to hold my head down in shame. All right, so now it's been, several minutes, head is down, and I'm about to fast forward so y'all can see he's going to hold the head down for the whole, 26 minutes, right? Here we go.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty. Let me show they faces.
Today's date, signed by the foreperson. Did the defendant commit first degree recklessly endangering safety?
Now keep in mind, they've been in here for 3 weeks, and while watching this guy waste all these people, all the taxpayers' money, and he's a fucking pimp, and he was trying to kill his hoe, and he ends up killing innocent people, and now we're here. We letting this pimp, junky ass pimp, waste all the taxpayers' money, hurt the victims' families, and the all that by cross-examining him and just putting on this whole big shenanigans like this. Like this is horrible. But look at them, like they about ready to go. They angry too. How dare this guy, do
using
court
a
like
dangerous
this?
weapon?
He got the head down. He ain't looking.
Yes.
And the head down. Head down. This video is 29 minutes. Y'all saw at 1 minute and 11 seconds, his head has been down. Head is continued down. Because this whole time she's reading off all these, guilty verdicts. Head down. He ain't looked up. And let me see if I can get the judge. There we go. Okay, so
yes,
the judge, each time she called, I want she's gonna look up. See if you look.
Darrell.
Why? Yeah. Oops. Okay. While this commercial was playing, I was did y'all see how the judge, she's guilty, and she looked up to see if he making that eye contact mimic, because he was trying to hold down his stare. He was trying to hold down the stare gaze, so he was trying to stare her down. But now that she just had that big ass stack of these here verdicts and stuff, she guilty. He ain't looked up since. So each time she say and blah 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 guilty, she look up to see if he make an eye contact, and that he ain't doing nothing. He that head down. So now you don't want to stare. You don't play the stare game. You ain't trying to play the stare game.
Of first degree recklessly endangering safety, as charged in count 52 of the
stack is getting low, but look at it.
Today's date and signed by the foreperson.
He's still. I'm hiding. I'm not here. I don't hear the guilty verdict. If I don't look at you, then it doesn't exist. Look at there. This thing almost over. And the only time he's gonna look up again is when she go through, ask all the jury to say something. He gonna look at each one of them in their face and see if he got any type of hope or anything like that.
Dated today's date and signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks.
Look there. He holding his head down because really the reason why the hands are up, y'all don't see. He crying. That little nigga crying. Grandma should have cried. Grandma should have did more.
Mr. Brooks, would you like me to poll the jury?
Watch this. He had to take a moment of silence.
Members of the jury, I'm going to ask each one of you individually to stand up, identify your number for the record, and then state whether the verdicts read in open court are your true verdicts. I'll start with the foreperson.
Look at him, kind of peep over there. See, look at them eyes red. Now y'all gonna see gonna be a little tear over on this side. Now see, he's not crying for the victims or any of that, or because he feel bad, anything like that. He's probably crying out of rage and furious, like he can't believe that they, he's got to pay for this. Like, right, let's watch. Now he's just looking up now because she's asking each one to stand up and say it. So I don't know, like he's trying to his last narc stare. Let me see if I can do a little something. It's already over. I don't even know why, but that just shows that their whole pathology where they still got to do this. Like, you know what I mean? He had checked out the whole time, right? But when she say, you want me to poll the jury? Remember, he was objection. I object. I vehemently object. Objection, judge. He was all that, but now I didn't even hear if he said yes or no. She just went on and started polling anyway.
And I'll read your numbers first, so it's a little bit easier. So juror number 11. Were the verdicts read in open court, or are the verdicts, let me rephrase that. The verdicts read in open court, are those your true verdicts?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 3.
Like what?
The verdicts read in open court, are those your true verdicts?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 6.
Man, you bitch.
The verdicts read in open court, are those your true verdicts?
It is.
See, he's trying to dab his tear. Y'all see that? He dabbing the tear. That's it though. But y'all saw that the whole video, he had his head down. So the video is 29 minutes and 55 seconds. So his head was up maybe, a minute in the beginning. We saw that at a minute 11, head went down, head did not come back up until, 20, I think like 26 or 27 minute, right? So there you go. All right. So all that stuff we saw, all the little bravado, just like a balloon deflating. Where is it at? Right? He ain't snatching off no mask. He's not outraged. What is happening? He didn't even have it in him to say yes. No, nothing. We didn't hear not one peep out of you, right? And you didn't even get a chance to tell the jury about their the power. The jury, I have the power, and I'm gonna inform the jury. All that talk, what's happening now? Where you at, huh? So that's that one there, and that's his reaction there. So we do see that the narcs don't like to be exposed here, and they do like to try to keep a mask on. And when the reality hit, they hurt too. they feel pain too. So he was really feeling pain for himself. He's feeling some pain for himself on that one there because things didn't work out like he had expected them to. So for those of you who don't know, I'm also into real estate and a Turo host. So that's why I'm looking at my phone here, because Turo is a ride sharing platform that allows you to rent your vehicles out to consumers as guests. Like, some people say that Turo is the Airbnb to cars, Airbnb for cars. So a lot of people have been starting some nice businesses by having Airbnbs. And Turo is a platform that I started in July and have been a successful Turo host, where I started a fleet, and I started with about I scaled the fleet from 0 to 8 vehicles that I purchased in the last 4 months for this here Turo platform. So that's why I'm looking here, because I'm expecting a guest, and I do remote access. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to drop the link to my other channel, Turo, where I help people, middle-aged people like myself, overcome the fear of leaving behind a comfortable job to start a business, right? So a lot of times, and again, like, I'm excited because these things could be tied into they could be tied into oh my goodness, here we go with the spammer. Let me get over here and kick this person out. So I guess I've been talking for a bit. seems like when you after about 40 minutes or so, these little spammers get in here, put in timeout, and there we go. Okay, so of course it's about these hot girls here. So 69, look at me shouting them out. But anyway, I'm not trying to get spammers up in here, but it seems like after I've been talking for maybe 30 or 40 minutes, that's when these spam bots start showing up. Always talking about sex too. Always. Now what is this? Okay, so I got that out of there. Let me see if I can delete it too, so it's not visible. Is there a remove? Here we go. Remove and remove. Oh no. Okay, whatever. All right. So anyway, I didn't want to heart it. I'm trying to. Anyway, it's out of there. These little spammers for the thing. So I'm just excited because, like I said, this here is giving opportunity so we can show how these narcissists, even from different socio-economical backgrounds like that too. This guy, I guess he was a rapper or something like that, or whatever. But the history of them when drugs and alcohol is involved, I mean, they can get extremely violent, dangerously violent, right? So we see that. And then here, this too goes to show that grandma and them knew full well that, he's doing these drugs and stuff like that, right? Then they would blame it on mental illness, right? So there we go with that. And also this whole blame game. I was just surprised, not surprised. I kind of was suspicious that this might be how things was going for them as far as like the girlfriend and all that good stuff. So the next one that we're going to be discussing, I'm going to pull that video up again about the how he was revealing his struggles with meth way back in 2007. How when things go unchecked and we still continue to have this these enablers and stuff like that, the person is only going to get worse. That's why it's super important to do the interventions and stop enabling the people and actually even go in no contact and stuff like that. Doing your research, doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you stay safe and come up with a plan. Like I said before, that I'm going to even see if I can pull it up. How many times a victim leaves before they, finally get out of a relationship? The victim return, actually, I guess. How many times the victim? That's a lot. Return to the abuser. Let's see what we can find out about that. This was about 2 years ago when it said up to 7 times. Let's see if anything has changed in the last 2 years. Let's see here, the cycle of domestic violence, understanding why. We're understanding why women return to abusive partners. All right, yeah, I think that'll be something interesting. We're gonna see if they've up the statistics and stuff like that. See what's going on here. So let me share my screen here, and we're going to talk about the cycles of abuse. All right, here. So we see the cycle of domestic violence, understanding why women return to abusive partners. The statistics are unfortunate, but important to know. Nearly half of all women, 48.4%, have experienced psychological aggression by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And more than 1 in 3 women, 45.6%, in the U.S. have experienced rape, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner. This means that as a woman, you're likely to have at least one friend who has had or still has an abusive or even violent partner. It can be frustrating to watch a friend return to an aggressive partner, especially if you've been supporting her and encouraging her to leave. Many people may ask why victims of domestic violence don't just leave their partners. The psychology of survivorship in domestic violence or abuse is more complicated than it appears. Understanding the cycles of violence and what it does to your friend's mental state of mind can help you support her through her relationships, whether she decides to stay or go. And I'm going to kind of stop right there because I want to say that trying to support someone who is not ready to go is dangerous for you. It's dangerous for you. If there's no way, don't do it, because we go back and we see how Erica, supposedly in a women's shelter for getting her ass kicked, freaking gives the address to the abuser. So we know that the women go back to these abusers. So if you already know that, don't endanger yourself or your family by bringing in somebody who is not ready to heal. You can't rescue somebody who doesn't know that they need to be rescued, right? They can come cry help whenever they're in the midst of getting that ass kicked. But as soon as they start up with the, oh baby I'm sorry, oh baby I'm sorry, and they go by it, she gave the address, she brought him out to that area which they weren't from, right, to go to this and invited the monster to the safe house, right? So you have to know that if someone's in an abusive relationship and they are still hypnotized and will, the person can say, come back here. Don't you can't help them. You'd have to just turn your back and that, no, don't do it, because your life is important. You have to know that you are the most important person. If somebody is not loving themselves enough to get help, to heal themselves, to stop, not allow themselves to get abused, then there's nothing that you can do about that. Now if somebody is wanting to get real help and getting a real exit strategy, they have to show that they making real plans and stuff. But do not allow them in your space to endanger your family, especially if you are responsible for children or elderly people or something like that. That person is risky. It's you have to make an assessment, right? So this isn't a cookie cutter plan. You have to make the assessment. And if the person is in the early stages of still going back and forth, where they haven't like really they haven't been gone for more than a weekend or gone for more than a day or something like that, don't let them come hang out at your house, because the person is going to come there looking for them. And it's gonna be like I think it was Jurassic Park 2 when or maybe it was 3, when I think his name was Billy, right? Billy he takes one of the eggs. It was, I think it was another one of those episodes. Anyway, the humans having these parts of the egg, the dinosaurs' eggs, right? So these dinosaurs come back looking for the egg, right? So this guy got the egg in the backpack. Now he put the whole camp in danger, because they come in there to get their egg and you there with the rest of us, right? So that's why sometimes when people are negative and they around negative people, you don't need to be around them, because when the negative thing happens to them for being so negative, if you there, it's just like being in the wrong place or being with negative people and somebody come in there and shoot the spot up, right? So sometimes why it's got to be very important that you making sure how you selecting friends and all that stuff, right? We already saw this, Shaquilla Robinson, as far as like, know your friends and stuff like that. And then sometimes you don't know them and you see what happens. That's why it's very important, to keep negative people away from you, because when the negative thing happens for them, you don't want it to fall on you because you was close to them, right? Do you know what I mean? I hope y'all know what I'm trying to say here. Be safe, right? You can't rescue somebody who don't know they need rescuing, right? Because back in the day, like when I was coming up, in the 70s and the 80s, if somebody was acting hysterical, smack the crap out of them to, calm them down so you can smack them back into reality. And, you know, sometimes, some people may need a good smack, not a physical smack, but a smack of reality by you not rescuing them, by you not coming to their aid and stuff like that. Because if you'll see that you would have helped that person, and then they, you know, leave and go back to the person. And then that person will have a problem with you, like, well, and then, like I said, the one late, not I said, but it showed that he had got physical and smashed the face or smushed the face of the roommate who, she invited her monster out there, right? So that's what I'm saying is important. If you know somebody who's getting their ass kicked and they not trying to save themselves, you may need to cut, people out of your life too, right? You can't, like I said, save a person that don't know that they need to be saved. And on that note, our next video that we're going to take a peek at is going to be, I wanted to show one with the girlfriend. No, I think I want to go back to the old one so we can show this pattern of his pattern, right? And then it kind of will give an idea, give us a little look into how or why. Because a lot of people was wondering, like, why did he, try to put on his own case, defend himself? And he's not the first narcissist that thought that they could, match wits with the courts and stuff like that. And I want to say that probably one of the reasons why he did that is because he had been, getting into a lot of local trouble and stuff, and there were trouble all around because he even had histories in Nevada and stuff. That's when he was doing his pimping, right? I'll find that video for y'all too. But all that to say is that he has history with, finessing the police department, arresting officers, and maybe these little local courts where he's kind of getting in and out, right? And most of these pimps is real good at that. They smooth talking, they ain't, trying to really see no time and all that kind of stuff. So they know how to talk their way out of stuff. And since he has been talking his way out of stuff and being successful at it, in his mind, then he's unstoppable. He's gonna beat these people at their own, at their own law and stuff. Like, like when I get one of the videos, I'll show how he kept. Narcissists are real good about this. When they try to do the backhanded compliments to kind of get at your esteem by taking shots at you, like he kept, calling her, reminding her that she's a public servant, like you got to serve me, and always kind of putting himself, projecting himself up more superior than even the judge by letting her know that she's a servant. You are a servant. Serve me, right? So he had this arrogance about him this whole time. And there's others, like I've seen other narcissists that will, think they really could get themselves off, right? Because he probably thought for sure that nobody knows about this jury nullification thing. Like, they don't know this stuff. Once I play this card, I'm getting out of here. I am getting out. We saw him straightening up his tie, looking all good and all that good, or, feeling confident that he was in a good space. So let's go back and take a peek at Mr. Darrell Brooks when he was, what was he trying to do something here?
You actually become the drug.
Uh-oh, let me stop it. All right. And we shall share the screen. We'll share the screen here. And this is the documentary 2007. And let me see, a young Darrell Brooks here. And he is talking about crystal meth.
Not even human being.
Darrell Brooks, now serving a life sentence.
Oh, he did it there. Did y'all see him try to do the sad baby kitty face like innocent child, and listen to the words. Listen, let me see if I can take this. There we go. Listen to the words that he's saying, right? They have the same dialogue. He's saying all the things that he thinks, of himself, and the people in here listen.
For killing 6 people in the Waukesha parade
Oh.
tragedy, featured in a documentary about.
This here is the documentary. It's called Crystal Darkness here. So I'm just wanting y'all to see. Look at his teeth already starting to get bad up there. See him, younger and down. Nothing's changed.
We discussed the drug and Brooks's behavior.
Oh, see, he knew it was crap then. He said that stuff. Okay, here go the victims too. I want to just make a still shot of that.
It was a really awful thing.
All right, so these are the victims, y'all. And I know I said I wanted to get these names, but I'm assuming this is the little Brooks boy there. This is horrible. Can you imagine? Like, this was a little small town, and this jerk comes in there and crashes up in there like that, and then tries to run. Just a complete whole butthole there. Yeah, I guess that's about all I wanted to show in that video. That's not the one. No, wait, here we go. Some more stuff. Let me just go back to that right there.
Listen as Brooks talks about.
All right, here we go. Let's share again.
His nephews and how it made him feel. This was in the Crystal Darkness documentary.
Wow. Disgusting. Despicable. I could go and I could use a lot of words.
Yeah, and most narcissists know they're a piece of shit. So, that's why their whole mission is to try to convince other people that they're not. That's why they mirror you and do all these things. But you see, he's like just letting it out. Yeah, and he's kind of smirking at it too. But yeah, he knows he's a whole pile of shit. All right, then we fast forward. Oh my! All right, so this ain't the one I want to show. Get out. But all that just shows that, see, we have this whole little history here. So if he had been dealt with at that time back in 2007, interventions for real, people like really cutting him out of the life and stuff, like maybe, not enabling him. You have to really just do these interventions and let these people know, you continue on this type of behavior, you're not going to be in my life. Like, I don't care that that you are my son, my brother, my father, whatever. Somebody is abusive or using drugs and they don't care about themselves. Oh heck. I'm just I'm just showing that that these are behavior qualities that get worse as things go by. Alrighty. Okay, I need to see in the screenshot or something, and this here, y'all can bear with me, and after I'm all done here, I shall well, I guess I've been talking for about an hour. I'm going to let's see here, wrap it up with let's see here. I'm going to just finish the most dangerous time. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with I'm going to read from this the most dangerous time to leave. I'm going to wrap it up with that because I think it's important that people know how dangerous it is, because we've seen a lot of these shows where women victims are ending up unalive because they tried to leave, right? That's what I'm saying. You got to escape. So let's see what is the study. This is from a self-defense group, Empowering Women Everywhere. All right, so it's called from WAC. WAC stands for women something. I don't see the rest of it. Anyway, so here's WAC, and that's this thing is WAC. Anyway, so I'm about to read what WAC is talking about as far as the most dangerous time to leave. So let's go ahead, share the screen, and then these are going to be my closing thoughts here. Closing thoughts on here. I'm going to just hop down here and see. Here are the cycles. I'm just going to hit the bullets here. The cycles of domestic violence here. One sec, I got to sneeze. Okay, it's not coming. All right, so the cycle of domestic violence is tension building, abusive incident, honeymoon phase. Wow, okay. It didn't go right back to tension building. So it's these cycles. That, wow. Wow. So I'm just going to, this really needs to be read. I'm going to go ahead and read it here. Tension building. This is when the victim may feel that they have to walk on eggshells to keep the abuser from exploding. The victim may not know what will bring the tension to a head, but they feel their partner's anger under the surface. During this period, as a friend, you may observe the victim is acting as if she is on her best behavior to please the abusive partner. All right. Then number 2, the abusive incident. Unfortunately, the common breaking point for the building tension is an abusive incident. Often the abuser will physically lash out at the victim although this can also happen in a psychologically abusive relationship as well. The abuser may call the victim names, humiliate them, deny the victim access to money or other necessities, or make a threat of violence. And in the honeymoon phase, all right, very important here. After the tension has broken, the abuser may try to work to make up for the abuse. This can include profuse apologies or promises to change, extravagant gifts, or extra affection in an attempt to get the victim to stay in the relationship. Once the victim has agreed to try again, and the cycle of abuse starts over. Wow. That's why it's important, like I said, once you've been abused, it's over. You can't put it back together. It's fractured, it's done. Because you are telling that person that you are okay with that. That's unforgivable. You just can't, because best believe it won't never be the only time. Like when they say, "Oh, it'll never happen again," there's not anybody. I don't know. I'd like for people to comment if you know somebody who can say that they was only hit once and that was it, that the abuser never hit them again. That's just not how it works. All right, so this says the most dangerous time is leaving. Wow, okay. What many observers may not understand is the most dangerous time for the victim of domestic abuse or violence is when she leaves. Staying with the abuser is a complex decision that many women make for a multitude of reasons. However, one of the most common reasons is that the victim knows her abuser and knows the extent to which he will go to keep his control. In fact, studies show that 75% of women who were KILLED by an intimate partner were murdered when they attempted to leave or after they left a relationship. Wow. A victim can be confronted with many very real fears when she decides to leave, including the abuser becoming more violent. Yeah. Y'all hear that? The abuser turning his anger on her children's pets or other loved ones. We saw that with Darrell Reed when he couldn't get access to Erica. He turned his anger on the parade goers. Yep. Lack of means to fully support herself, such as her own bank account or home. Embarrassment from friends or family learning about her problems. Wow. Yeah. Let's see. I'll, try to leave this in the description box. But wow. All right. So like I said, I'm just knowing that this is really gonna, it has to stay my voice here because that's a lot of people, a lot of women. That's like almost half. Like, wow, some really serious statistics there. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe and keep tuning in and give me your thoughts. I'm loving these comments. I'm loving the engagement. And thanks again, everybody, for, following me here and supporting this journey here. Peace and love.